My grandfather was a man of simple tastes but unshakable character. He lived quietly on his 900-acre farm, land that had been in our family for generations. Rolling fields, old timber, grazing pastures, it wasn't just property. It was history. When he passed away, the loss hit hard. But the chaos that followed was something I never could have predicted. At his funeral, of all places, a woman I barely knew marched straight toward me. No condolences. No sympathy. Just one sharp demand. Where's the will? That land should belong to the community. Her name was Karen. She was the self-appointed queen of the small homeowners association bordering a tiny corner of my grandfather's land. Apparently, she had already been spreading rumors that once Grandpa died, the HOA would acquire the farm. She'd told neighbors about her grand vision, a golf course, a luxury clubhouse, even high-end condos. The problem? My grandfather was still alive when she started making those claims. She simply assumed an aging farmer with no close heirs would donate his entire estate to her suburban fantasy. She assumed wrong. After the funeral, the harassment began. I started receiving official-looking letters from the HOA. They cited absurd violations. One claimed my barn was an unauthorized structure. Another said the color of my tractor violated community aesthetic standards. My personal favorite? A fine for excessive wildlife, as though I had command over deer, foxes, and rabbits roaming 900 acres. It was intimidation, pure and simple. Karen thought she could drown me in fines and pressure me into selling. I tried diplomacy first. I sent a polite response explaining that my land was not, and never had been, part of her HOA. The farm existed decades before her subdivision ever broke ground. My property lines were legally surveyed and clearly marked. Her authority ended at my fence. Her reply? A threat? She claimed legal action, foreclosure, thousands of dollars in fabricated fines. That was the moment I stopped being polite. I hired a seasoned property attorney, a sharp, no-nonsense man who had seen every trick in the book. When he reviewed Karen's letters, he actually laughed. "This," he said, "is one of the clearest cases of fraudulent harassment I've ever seen." He drafted a cease and desist letter so precise and legally airtight it might as well have been steel. It warned Karen and the HOA to immediately halt all contact or face a lawsuit that would devastate them financially. We sent it certified mail. For a week, silence. I hoped that was the end of it. I underestimated her. The following Saturday morning, I woke to the rumble of heavy machinery. I looked outside and saw a bulldozer tearing down a section of my fence. Karen stood nearby, directing the crew like a general commanding troops. I ran outside, shouting for them to stop. She smirked. "We're preparing the entrance to the new golf course," she said coolly. "You're trespassing on HOA property." That's when I called the sheriff. When deputies arrived, Karen performed like she was on stage. She produced her HOA bylaws, copies of her fabricated fines, and insisted I was a squatter occupying community land. She was calm, confident, smug, until I handed the deputy my grandfather's deed, the will naming me sole heir, and the cease and desist letter. The deputy examined the paperwork carefully. Then he looked at the torn fence. The bulldozer, "Karen, ma'am," he said evenly, "based on these documents, you are trespassing. You are also supervising destruction of private property." Her confidence vanished instantly. The bulldozer operator shut off the engine without hesitation. The deputy informed Karen that I had every right to press charges for trespassing and property damage. So I did. The legal case moved swiftly. Property records confirmed my land had never been part of the HOA. Several residents from her own subdivision testified that she had bragged openly about seizing the farm. They described years of overreach and power abuse. The ruling was decisive. The HOA was ordered to pay for fence repairs, my full legal fees, and substantial damages for harassment and destruction of property. Karen wasn't just removed as HOA president. I filed a personal lawsuit against her. The construction company she misled filed one as well. The financial consequences were catastrophic. The HOA was forced to impose a massive special assessment on homeowners to cover the judgment. Neighbors who once supported her turned furious when they realized she had bankrupted their community fund. In the end, Karen had to sell her own house to cover personal legal costs and settlements. The empire she tried to build by stealing my land was the very thing that collapsed around her. Eventually, the new HOA president sent a formal written apology along with a fruit basket. We now have a very clear boundary. As for me, I remain on the farm. It's quiet again, peaceful, and fully legally mine. My grandfather left me more than acreage. He left me the resolve to defend what's rightfully ours. Every morning when I look across those 900 acres, I remember, some things are worth fighting for.